Okay, so the formula that they have used is clearly this one. 1 minute. Financial analysis. Yeah. Yeah, so this was the formula that was used to calculate. As you can see, there are two formulas given. One is over here. The return on investment of a planned change is expressed as a percentage measuring the net benefits divided by the cost of change. So this is one. And if you see, look over here, the formula that they have given here is total benefits minus cost of investment by cost of investment. But what I got, and based on the calculation that I did during the exam, I realized that this is what they're applying to get the answer, because when I used this particular formula I got the answer. So in your exam you could probably try out this formula first before you try this one. Okay, that is one thing.
What is the above formula?
It is expressed as a percentage measuring the net benefits. Net benefits divided by the
Okay,
cost
total
of the
benefits.
change. Yeah, net benefits divided by the
Sure,
cost of
sure.
change. Okay, here it is total benefits minus cost of the investment, that alone is being taken out. But here it is net benefits, which is like total benefits minus total costs. That's how you calculate net
So,
benefits.
what? How was the question asked? I
Okay,
mean, how can I differentiate between
let
the first
me
formula and the
see. I
second?
think I have made a note of it. Let me just see. One second. I just have to pick it up from somewhere. Just a minute. Give me a minute. Wrap questions. Uh, I would have written down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it. Sorry. One second. Screen share. Yeah. Yeah. So it was something like this. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Benefits expected out of there was a scenario maybe of 1 or 2 lines, and it was said that the benefits expected out of that investment is 15,000 per year. The cost of investment is 20,000 and maintenance cost is 30,000 for second and third year. What's the ROI considering a 3-year period? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so cost of,
Okay.
yeah, so when you calculate total costs, that would be 2000 cost of investment
Like
plus maintenance
3 years
cost for second and third year. So 20,000 plus 30,000
plus
plus
30,000.
30,000. Yeah, so that will be your total costs, 80,000. Okay,
Okay.
then you
Okay.
have total benefits, that's equivalent to 15,000. Then you have total cost minus total benefits will give you the net benefits, right? Net
Yes.
benefits will is equal to total costs, sorry, total cost,
Mm.
yeah, minus total benefits. So it'll be equivalent to 80,000 minus 15,000. Then you can get the value here. Then what you do next is you divide that number by cost of change. So here cost
Change.
of change, here there is no training cost mentioned. So what you just have
Mm-hmm.
is cost of investment. Your cost of change will be equivalent to cost of investment.
Oh,
Got it. So what is
yeah.
total cost of ownership? Total cost of ownership is equal to cost of investment plus you may have training costs plus you would have maintenance costs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. But cost of change is equivalent to cost of investment plus training costs. Here they have not given any training costs, so you would, this cost of change will be equivalent to cost of investment. Okay, so based on the data that they have given, you have to calculate this and then you will get the value. So now you have 80,000 minus 15,000, you can easily calculate that, which will be 65k. Divide by 20,000 into 100, that will give you the answer.
Okay. And the other type of question that you were
Okay,
saying,
the other type we have
did
create.
he not ask like what? Yeah.
What is it? Percentage difference and all.
I mean, yeah. How do I differentiate for the second question? Because if I see ROI, I will think I will use the ROI formula, right?
No, try
So
this out
that's
first,
it.
because when I tried the formula
Mm.
first, it didn't really work out for me. So I tried this, and then I got the answer. So I would suggest you to try this out first. Net benefits by cost of
Sure.
change, and then you can, if you don't get that, then you can look at the formula.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Then today we will be uploading one more case based question. I have just created and given it to my team. 1 second. It's a new case based
So
question
how
based
many
on
financial
solution
based
evaluation.
questions
So
are?
financial was just this one particular question, but there were
Uh-huh.
questions on some small calculations, like you would be given a table like this. It's like a warehouse problem.
Yeah.
So there was a table like this with average waiting time, like lot of numbers. So
Yeah.
what we would typically do is, like, we'll start searching for answers in this table. So you have to be careful. Sometimes this
Correct.
table is just given as a distractor. They'll give you a lot of information,
Mm.
and then when you see number based questions uh, like this and all, you'll start looking out for the table, and then you may spend too much time on the table, which may not be necessary. So that is
Mm.
just there will be two types. One is like a set where the table will be of no use to you. You will just spend time trying to figure out what these numbers are. They'll be like ton, this truck has a lot of capacity, there's a lot of people involved, the resources are so and so. So there will be a table like this. So we have tried to
Okay.
replicate that, and we will be uploading that this Quizlet today, I mean this caselet. Yeah, so this particular question, I personally didn't find any value in this particular table. Okay, so
Yeah.
the questions were something like this, like if you have if the loading time is 6 tons per hour and there are like 6 trucks or something like that, how long would it take to load 100 tons? So these are simple calculations, like
Mm.
100 divided by 6 into 6. So we have given the explanation and everything. Then if only 30 percentage of the truck is loaded and only that factor is taken into account, then how much time would you take to load all the trucks from supplier 1? So these kind of warehouse related problems, there was a case like this for me which had about 4 to 5 questions. Mostly there would be about only sorry, not 4 to 5, 3 to 4 questions. That's what on an average you can find about 3 to 4 questions for each case. And we always say
Okay.
start
So
start attempting the questions from question number 50. Okay, because
50. Yeah.
yeah, 50, the first 45 to 50 questions are usually case based, and even students who have taken the exam, even they tell us that they have seen the first 50 questions are I mean 45 to 50 questions are usually case based questions.
That
Is
background noise is not from my side. It's from
can the
background.
others go mute, please, whoever is not talking? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's what
So you were saying that
hmm,
calculation based questions
hmm.
could be based on the is it like based on module, each module?
uh,
Like all
i-
the six modules that
you mean the knowledge area based?
knowledge area, right?
Yeah, so it can be something similar, like this is like solution evaluation based. You can't clearly
Yes.
distinguish uh, because it can be a mix of probably a strategy analysis and a solution evaluation kind of a thing. But what do I say? You can make out that it is not financial analysis based questions. These are simple numeric questions which can be a difference in percentage, maybe because you're doing a strategy analysis in your organization and you're please excuse me, I'm just getting a call from office. One second, just a minute. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so there could be simple percentage difference calculations. Yeah,
See,
that.
you are saying that the first 45 questions may also include the calculation.
Yes, yes. All
And
calculations are mostly coming in case-based questions, but there was this one-off case, like it was a scenario question, and there I got a calculation. So, but mostly
that
these
is the
kind.
next remaining 50,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Like,
remaining. Yeah.
okay.
So what at that point in time when I got that question and I tried using the formula, I didn't find the answer. So what I did is I skipped that question. I marked it for a later time, and then once I finished all the questions, I came back to that. That's
Okay,
how
so
I did.
when you were attempting the 50th to the rest of the questions,
Yeah.
how are they? What kind of questions do they ask
Mostly,
in
yeah,
50 to?
mostly it'll be scenario based questions. You'll be given a scenario, you will be asked which technique would be most suitable in this
Hmm.
particular scenario, or some more questions I can discuss with you, like yeah, there was one case like this which was on you have to have a good understanding of the characteristics of requirements,
Hmm.
like that atomic,
Yeah.
consistent characteristics are there, right,
Hmm.
in Babok. So
Yes.
those
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
questions you will get a case based on that. Then there was another one
Hmm.
like yeah, so this particular caselet we have added to succeed. You can take a look.
Hmm.
There are 5 questions based on
Sure.
that. Yeah.
Atma,
Yeah. Yeah, hi Sujit.
last, hi, hi. Atma, there was in the last, I think you have added the RAD questions, eh?
Yeah, yeah, I took
First
a
one
look at.
question was there.
Correct, got it.
These are the questions, or these are the questions, or these are the different questions?
Mm, you mean this, yeah, yeah, the type of questions that were asked based on that, right?
Yes. The last question, if you see,
Hmm.
if you go to the my last page,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
yes,
saw that,
yes,
Sujit. I think the explanation is wrong, actually. It should have been this one,
yes,
4,000 and 5,000. Yeah, that's right.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, we will correct that. Thanks
yes,
for pointing that out. Because the implementation rank is given as 1 and 2. Although the value is like 5, we have to also consider the implementation rank. Okay,
Okay.
so
Is this already
but
there
4
in
and 5
yeah,
also
it's
there.
Stakeholder?
already, Nikita, it's already there in Succeed. As a
Okay.
You can find it under workshop materials.
Workshop material.
And these are new questions that you have added. It's already added in Succeed, or
The new
okay,
set on warehouse that will be added today. We have finalized it, like last time when I spoke to you, I told, right, it has gone for review. So we have
yes, yes.
finished the review, and then we will be uploading it today or tomorrow. Most likely it'll be there today. I've sent it out anyway, so
Because
our
if you go to
content
the
team has to upload
if
it.
you, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, if you go to the first question of your new content,
Mm-hmm.
new question, what is that? The 3.5 6 tons per hour.
Which one is it?
First one. If you go to
First
the
one
first
is
one,
this one. The BA is trying to understand the reasons.
no, not this one. The
This
first
one.
question, that the truck loading, Yes.
No,
Uh,
Sujit, this was the
yes.
first
If the
question. I think you're referring to the third question then.
yes, third question, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
One is in operation. How long would it take to add 100 tons? So
Mm-hmm.
100 means 6 tons per hour,
Hmm.
and six trucks of supply. One are in. So only one is in operation. Others are not in operation. Only
Of
one truck is in operation.
supplier 1. This particular supplier 1. Supply truck 1. This is in operation.
Yes.
So regardless
Yes.
of which truck is in operation, like the calculation would be something like uh, if you are loading at 6 tons per hour and you have 6 trucks, how much time would you take to load 100 tons? So 100 divided by 6 into 6. That's how you calculate.
Say 36.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100
36.
divided by 36.
Yeah,
Then you will get, see basically, what you're looking at is
2.6.
6 tons per
Yeah.
hour into 6 trucks
2.6.
into,
2.6.
yeah,
2.6
2.8.
in it.
Yeah, 2.8 hours. Into how many number of hours? That will give you 100 tons. So these are like, yeah. Yes, Suji.
Partner, will be given some calculator or
Yeah, you will
we
have
do
an
that
online,
on.
yeah, you will have an online calculator. And
Okay.
in the initial screen, when you start taking the exam, it will say you're not allowed papers and all that. So what I did is, as per IIBA guidelines, they have told you can carry 2 sheets of paper, white paper you can carry.
Okay.
It should be, I mean, you should not write anything. It should be, should ensure that there's nothing written on
Blank.
it. Yeah, blank sheets, and nothing anywhere. Do so what happened was, like, I spoke to my proctor who was there, and I told, see, as per IIBA guidelines, it was mentioned that we could carry 1 sheet. I think one or two blank sheets. Okay, so when I said that, then that proctor was like, okay, if it is allowed, then fine, you can carry it. But the initial screen will come, right, that you're not supposed to carry anything. Things like that will appear. So just tell your proctor that you, as per guidelines, you are allowed to carry. Okay. Then you're also not allowed to wear. They'll tell you're not allowed to wear smart watches or anything smart devices.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. That's not a
Yeah. So
problem.
small. So, yeah. So those kind of things are not allowed.
So in the from 50th to rest of the questions,
Yeah.
whatever knowledge base we are learning,
Yeah.
based on that, the scenario and the technique kind of questions will
Yes,
come,
yes.
right?
Technique based. Then you'll have, yeah, mostly tech. So let me. Then you may have case based,
Traceability.
yeah, traceability related questions like derive, depend. So we have added that also. I think I got a request from Sujit last time on having some more examples on types of traceability relationships. So we have added that we have added a document on that also, giving you some more, examples on how you can figure out whether it is a derived relationship, or if it is a satisfied relationship or validate relationship. So you have to have a good understanding of traceability relationships. So you can expect questions based on that. Then you can,
Some character.
yeah, characteristics is important. Then there will be a question on if you're transitioning from a predictive to an adaptive way of working, which what would be impacted the most. So something like that can happen. Usually the timing of the BA
Yes.
work,
Yes.
yeah, we have a similar question. So
Yes. Yes.
usually that is what gets affected, so you have to mark that. Then there can be a question like, there was a question like a pizza shop scenario, where special toppings are introduced every week. So which of the following aspect can be reused? So this was an interesting question, like, how do you reuse requirements? We have covered that.
Yes.
I mean, it's there in Babok. Reusability is a very important thing. So was it like toppings image or toppings
That's
recipe? But
okay.
yeah, so in this particular scenario, it was like dough preparation. Every time it'll be this. I mean, dough preparation will not change, right? But you may change the toppings, or you may change the image, the way you advertise. Everything can change, but the base is the base can always be reused. That
The
recipe can
same.
be reused. So
Yes.
so basically that was the answer. So then yeah, this was again derive, depend. There was a question like that. um, then what was that? This capability centric and process centric. There was something like that, no? So that also you should have an idea. Then mostly it was like techniques, which technique can help, yeah, can help in understanding the dissatisfaction of stakeholders and offer them an opportunity to help improve the
Lessons
work.
learned.
Yeah, so this is lessons learned. So
Yes.
then this is
So,
the
so one
question.
last question
Okay.
before.
Yeah, yeah, Nikita.
Sorry, one last question before I give opportunity to others. Means
Yes.
the first 45 questions, right?
Hmm.
The calculations can be, it can be like financial related, it could be a
Hmm.
very normal percentage related,
Hmm.
and whatever is mentioned in succeed,
Hmm.
those related kind of questions only will be there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
But did you find anything, any questions apart from what is already there in succeed?
So this particular case, like on warehouse, we didn't have it, so we have added that. Then we are also coming up with another one on it was like a mortgage application scenario, where there
How
was
many questions? How many questions were different? I mean, new that you have
uh,
identified during the
maybe
exam.
like this case was a little new. Then about 15 to, yeah, 5 sorry, 10 to 15, I would say. Means
Ten to
basically
15.
concept wise you would see, you cannot expect the exact questions to appear for the exam.
Hmm.
Okay, but what I
No,
am
I
saying
mean
is the
just
nature of questions, because
yeah,
the,
nature
yeah,
of questions
nature of
is
questions,
yeah.
yes, this was a little unique, so two case I would say, so about 10 to 15, which had a different
So
way of asking. The way it was asked was a little different.
mhm.
Okay, so
Okay.
but
And how many
otherwise,
questions should be right,
how many questions
and
should be
how many
right?
questions should
Okay,
be
so we typically insist on having 85 percentage so that you can clearly pass the exam. I mean, you can assume that you will pass the exam if you score 85 percentage above in simulations. But maybe for the
no,
exam,
no, in actual
yeah, the
exam.
IIBA has not revealed that information, so that's why we tell 70 plus percentage you have to score, and that is why we insist
That is
on
out of
having 85 percentage.
90,
So
90%.
yeah.
90 questions. Okay, yeah.
mm,
Yes.
s- so
Out of 150,
out
right?
of 120,
120.
CBAP has 120 questions.
120.
Yeah.
Yes.
CBAC.
Yeah, are you
CBAC, CBAC.
looking at CCBA, Nikita?
No, CBAC.
CBAP, right? Yeah, CBAP
No,
has
CBAC
120 questions.
120.
120. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we
And
say we insist on
and the
85 so that it's a safe zone. But
mhm.
yeah,
We try to.
like Sujit said, you can aim for 90 90 questions to be right, or somewhere around.
We can go for all the questions. By the way, if 90% is okay, and if you don't know some questions, you have to anyhow attend all the questions.
Yeah.
Probability is there that those 20, 15, 20 questions, at least 5 to 10 questions might be correct also. So in those case,
Correct.
your probability will go up of passing the exam. And by the way, they don't see that they will see all the knowledge areas, not only one knowledge area. You
Mm.
are okay. They will see all the knowledge.
Yes, yes. To in order to pass the exam, it's like it's not that you just have to get a higher than above in one knowledge area. You will be tested in all knowledge areas, and you have to score comparatively compare or higher. There's some definition that they have. Okay, so and sometimes they'll mark you as lower in one particular knowledge area, and that can also result in failure. So you have to score higher in all knowledge areas. Okay,
Thank you so
and
much,
the
Padvi. I
other
think
one,
I had a
the
lot of questions.
yeah, the other point that I wanted to tell you is, like, of late people are seeing that their questions during the exam, the exam gets paused. Okay, so it can
Mhm.
be from a proctor's side. The proctor may inform you or may not inform you in advance before pausing the exam. So once the exam is paused and the proctor restarts the exam, the questions will be shuffled. Okay, so
Yeah.
just don't panic at that point in time. um, it may or may not happen. For some people it has happened, and for me also it happened. Like the proctor paused the exam twice. So what happened was, when they resumed the exam, all the questions were shuffled. So at that point in time I got like I was like, okay, a little um, anxious, or a sudden change, right? So we were in a particular flow, and then that flow got interrupted. But please expect
So
these
what
kind
happened
of
to the questions that you have already answered?
that has been marked as answered only. But then that
Okay.
sequence in which you were appearing, no, what what was probably the 10th question while you were attempting initially may become like the 15th or the 20th question after reshuffling, after the questions go, yeah, once I resume the pause, no, after that the sequence gets disrupted. So just keep that in mind, don't panic. All your questions will be the same, it will just get reordered, that's it.
But who actually does that? Who pauses it?
The proctor can pause it. Maybe it's like a 3.5 hours exam, no? So if there's a technical
Yeah.
interruption, or if the proctor wants to take a quick break, or if you as a student want to take a quick break and go to the washroom or something like that, if you want to request for
Okay.
a quick break and then come back, then this kind of a thing will happen. Your questions will get shuffled. Most likely it does. I mean, our students will be there, but then proctor you sometimes takes a break. So this is some issue that people have been reporting. So we informed IIBA also that our students are facing this. So just please address it. So they have also taken it into account, and they'll be in touch with the PSI system so that such disruptions don't happen. But even if it happens, just keep this in mind. Okay, so don't panic, just continue from where you have paused. Okay, so yeah.
And how long did you take to prepare, and when did you actually attempt?
uh,
How soon do you think we should attempt for the exam?
Actually, the thing is, like, I have been in touch with Babok for some time because I was with Adaptive. So but I seriously started preparing maybe about 2 months, I would say, 2 to 3 months before I schedule for the exam. Yeah. So 2 to 3 months time would be good, provided you put in some effort every day. We say 3 months.
Yes, yes,
Then
definitely.
depends on how much extra time you can put. We say 3 months is good enough.
2 to 3 months, that's all.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're
Okay.
preparing 2 3 hours every day, then it's okay for any 2 months you can give. And once you prepare and once you give the stimulus and everything, uh, one week or 2 weeks there, then you should give the exam. Otherwise, you'll forget everything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep in touch with the subject. Plan for your exam date so that you have a target end date. Otherwise, it'll just go on like a never-ending project. So keep that in mind.
Yes.
Keep your target end date. Fix a date, and then start preparing towards it. Otherwise, it'll go on. Yeah. So I had some questions
Firstly,
from, yeah, yeah. Is this Jay?
this, no,
No,
this is
Ashif.
Asif
Yeah,
here.
Asif. Yeah,
Um,
Ashif.
so quick question. Is a simulation test does has continuations of 120 questions, right? Is there any pause or anything we can have when we give the simulation test in Succeed? Or
In Succeed, I think currently there's an option to save, but then that may not be a good approach. We have
yeah,
at
yeah.
the moment we have that save button, but always try to sit for 3.5 hours so that you get that feel of the exam. Don't try to take breaks in between.
How much time uh, do you take to complete?
Sorry,
Hello.
Sujit, can you go on mute? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How much time did you take to complete the exam
Uh,
when you gave for the exam?
yeah, so actually, what happened was, like, you're always racing against time, and then you'll have a feeling that that time was not sufficient. So I took the entire 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I took that much time.
Okay.
What I did is, like, yeah, I
That
start,
is including breaks.
including breaks. Yeah, don't consider the break into account. But otherwise, see,
Okay.
when the proctor paused the exam, that particular time was not deducted from my exam because it was a pause at their end, right? Maybe if we take a pause, that'll yeah, our time may run out, but then it was a pause from their end, and because of which it didn't really affect my exam time. didn't reduce, although the proctor took about 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes or so, but it didn't get deducted from my exam duration. But I took the entire 3 hours. About 3 hours you will be almost done. But the remaining half an hour, that will be like you're trying to find out, do some calculation or figure out the answers you have marked as, marked for flagged. Some you would have marked some questions, right? You would have flagged some questions for later review. So the last half an hour probably will go like that. Initially you may go in a good pace. It's only when you come to the case based questions towards the end you will feel like the time is running out quickly.
So let me put like this: so we can finish scenario based in 2 hours
Yeah, yeah.
maximum.
About
Possibly our target.
90
Scenario
minutes
1
you.
hour for
You keep about 90 minutes for case based questions. About scenario like 40 to 45. Try to finish about 40 to 45 questions in 1 hour. You go at that pace. Then try to keep 90 minutes at the end for the case based questions. um, okay, but depends, like if things go for a shuffle, then your plan may not work out, because the strategy that we are saying right now is like keep the 50 questions aside and then go from 50 onwards. But what happens when they shuffle is even your case based questions may come towards the end or something. So just pray that your questions don't get shuffled. Okay. So when I don't know it. First of all, people are like so anxious and tensed, and on top of that, when they do something like this, you become all the more nervous. So nowadays we tell our students, just don't panic. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really happen always, but then yeah, even if it happens, just be prepared.
Sure.
Yeah.
And one more thing, all these the new case-based questions that you have prepared.
Hmm.
You said you will be adding that in Saxilo, right?
Right,
Or
right.
it will be added in Synthesis?
Both,
Which
both,
platform?
both.
Both.
Yeah, so
And
we are
in
doing
case
just a
of this,
parallel run, and eventually we'll stop things in Succeed, except for your live classes and simulations. But for the time being, so that people just get adjusted to the platform, we are having all the documents in both. Okay. Yeah, so coming back to Sujit's questions, let me just quickly run through that.
Padma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Padma, anyhow, I had they have approved my form.
Oh,
They have
great.
accepted my form.
Awesome. Okay, so when are you taking the exam?
By 25th of March or by 25th to 30th. I am not paying the fees, but I'll pay the fees next month and I will take that.
Okay, sure. So we are waiting for your results. I'm sure you'll clear the exam. No doubt.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Fun. I also want to tell, like, my application got approved as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So all the best to
So
both of
yeah,
you. Do reach out to us if you have any doubts, like at any point. We'll be more than happy to help you. So,
Okay.
conceptual wise, or if you have any
only thing is
doubts.
the financial bit is a little bit, um, you know, still we're trying to
And it,
develop it.
sorry, Ashif, you're not. Sujit, can you go mute?
No,
Yeah.
I was trying to say, like, still the financial analysis questions are a little bit challenging
Yeah.
when we see like a new scenario, new cases.
Just keep practicing. That's what I did. Like whatever we have given, just do it at least 3 or 4 times, so that it reinforces. Even if it takes you a little bit time, just try to repeat that case. Try to do it on your own next time without looking at the answer. That might help. So basically, just try to recall what mostly there are just 4 things. First of all, cost of investment. Then you have total. Then you have cost of change. First, it starts with cost of investment. Then you have cost of change, which is cost of investment plus training costs. Then you move on to the next thing, which is like a total cost of ownership. That again is like a summation of cost of investment plus cost of change plus maintenance costs. Then what you have is ROI. ROI, we
Actually, there are very less examples in Succeed for financial
have you
analysis.
Nikita, have you gone through workshop materials? Under that we have given like 4 caselets for
Yeah, four.
financial
Yeah.
analysis. Yeah.
So you're saying that four should be able to help us, right?
So that should do. It's going to be somewhat similar only. Then you have ROI related questions. Then you have payback period. Okay, payback period is nothing but how much time can you recover the cost of change. Like you have invested some money into a project, in how many years or in how many months can you recover that so that you break even. That is payback period. So you only these 5 things are there in these 5 things are there as formulas in financial analysis.
Oh,
Yes, that
in
is enough, I think.
Succeed, in Succeed, are you saying under the questions tab, or because there is only questions tab, right?
In Succeed, under study guides, workshop materials.
Study guide. Okay.
Yeah, study guide, workshop
Thank you.
materials. You'll find these financial related questions. Okay. Yeah. Now quickly let's cover these questions. I think Jay also had some questions. Yeah, so Sujit, yeah, this is again, I think it's a system glitch because the options are repeating twice, so that I have informed my content team to update that. So
So
the answer is
what will be the
SS
answer?
and
The first one will be the answer?
no, it will be enterprise limitations.
Yeah, enterprise limitations, yes.
Yes, that is the
That
right
was the
answer.
answer by me also.
Correct. That answer is right because many users have complained about lack of training. See, this is an important thing.
Yes, lack of training.
Yeah, just for the benefit of others, I'm just telling you. Like when you see lack of training and things like that, it is nothing but operational assessment, which comes under assess enterprise
The
limitations.
assess enterprise limitations.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when conducting an operational assessment, business analysts consider policies, capabilities and processes, skill and training needs, human resource practices, risk tolerance, and tools and technology. So this is this comes under assess enterprise limitations.
Mm.
Yeah, so that answer is right, Sujit. So we will update that. Next doubt that you have is about this one, measures of effectiveness.
This case, yeah, this case study.
Hmm.
The last question I'm not able to get the building books and
That
things
one
like that.
we discussed it. I think enterprise limitation would be the appropriate one because when it comes to enterprise limitation, it also talks about environmental factors that are external to the enterprise, right?
Yes,
So yeah, so
yes.
the lane and things like that looks more like something which is outside the solution, because of which we will
Yes,
change the answer to assess enterprise limitations. Yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
They are writing assess solution limitation.
As a
These
solution limitations.
these are the
Yeah.
external factors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are the
Sujit.
external
So,
factors that are affecting
mm-hmm.
the
Correct.
environment.
Correct. Yeah, so we'll do that as well. And then I see some of the answers because you have marked that as right already. You have any doubt in this?
That I can understand. But actually, no doubt. Actually, I want to know the answer,
Ah,
the last answer.
yeah, this one. This particular answer, yes, we will change it to enterprise limitation. Hmm. Yeah, that's correct. Then again, you have pointed
And
out this as well.
Atma, have
So,
you?
hmm,
Yeah,
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 yes.
yes. This we can change it.
Hmm. Yes, Sujit, what was your question?
Have you gone through that inputs and outputs thing? That will be a good thing for the evaluation also.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
looking at that.
so yeah, probably with the team you can share your thoughts, or we will. I think Sir has taken a look. Ellen Sir has taken a look
Yes,
at that, and then there is also a task summary table which we have added in Succeed.
yes.
So That will
Yes,
also
yes.
be useful. And
I have seen that.
yeah, so I think you're doing a good detailed study, so I'm sure your inputs will be of value to others also. Yeah, so
Yes, because you have to mark these things. At least 5 to 6 questions come, I think, from
hmm,
each input output
yeah,
and
no,
the guidelines. Basically, in the guidelines, they ask this question.
correct, yeah, yeah, you can have
So
about
yeah,
3 to 4
so
questions.
there is a table we have in Succeed, which has input, outputs, and tasks.
Yeah, yeah, there's a
Yeah,
task summary table. What
yeah,
Sujit's input was something like he has put it in 3 columns. One is inputs, one is guidelines, and one is outputs. So
Output.
yeah, so Sujit has created a document like that. So if it's yeah, Sujit could probably share with the team, because
Yes.
if it's of valuable, it'll be of value to all of you. Like, this is like a study team, right? So all of you are studying together.
Yes.
So if you are preparing something new, you can share it with your friends as well. So it'll be useful for everyone.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Mm.
Nikita has shared her email ID. So if you
Mm.
guys can share documents with each other, that'll be great.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because from our
Mm.
point of view, we have to do a lot of content arrangement and things like that. So before we
Mm.
uh, add something to our platform, we have to have an internal review and things like that. So
Mm.
between yourselves, you
Mm.
can share and discuss and learn. That's totally fine.
Mm.
Okay. So
Mm.
thanks, Sujit.
Yes, ma'am.
You're actually adding a lot of value to your team members also, who are to your colleagues who are
Thank you.
joining. Yeah, yeah. So do I have
Yes.
any questions? I think, let me see if I have any questions from Jay. Jay has some questions. Hmm. Okay. Let me just download. Yeah. Okay. The first question: what should A do prior to conducting the elicitation? Study observation. Huh. Okay. Yes, so in this particular scenario, it's like a business analyst who is trying to uh, do certain things before conducting the elicitation. Before conducting an elicitation, what are the things that Babok says as output? Okay, so what is the
A
typical,
could be A, I think.
yeah, no, what is the typical I mean typical flow when it comes to elicitation? First of all, you have to prepare for elicitation, then you conduct elicitation, then you
Yes.
confirm elicitation, and then you communicate the business analysis information. So in prepare for
Mm.
elicitation, what do you typically do? In when you prepare for elicitation, you try to understand the scope, what are the suitable techniques, and how can you plan on what are the appropriate techniques or supporting materials, or what are the resources that you will use before you start conducting the elicitation.
Mm.
So this is like an
Mm.
output question. Okay, it is an output question which is like framed in a different way. So what should A do prior to conducting the elicitation? Before conducting the elicitation, you have to prepare for elicitation. And when you prepare for elicitation, what would you typically look out for? You will look out for supporting materials and the scheduled oh, sorry, not that. This
Resources.
is like a, higher,
Organizational
yeah,
assets.
organizational, which is like a superset. Like, although supporting materials and scheduled resources are there, this may fall under organizational assets.
Yeah, organizational assets are the high level because
A
see,
high level, yeah.
you will see all the documents and all the templates stored in somewhere. So organizational assets will be the main, and requirement
Mm.
management. How you are going to manage the plan? You have decided that thing in the
Yeah,
planning thing.
yeah,
So you will take those things.
yeah. So these things are taken into
Okay.
account when before you start, conducting the elicitation. Supporting materials. So basically, it says Supporting materials are the scope, the appropriate techniques and appropriate supporting materials and resources. But this particular option is like this organizational assets cover supporting materials and schedule resources as well. So that is why option A is the answer.
Yeah, because when I was answering this, I was thinking between confusion between A and D.
Huh.
Then because supporting materials is only for supports when you prepare for the
Hmm.
elicitation.
Yeah, so this is like just
The
one
coordinator
part of
can
it. This is just one part of
correct.
preparing for
Yes,
elicitation.
correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
you have to look at a broader way of doing things. Okay, then you have this. Which one among the following is the most likely reason for the lack of resolution? Hmm. Project manager has not granted eighth authority. Key stakeholders are not available. I think this seems to be a little tricky question when you have to choose between A and C, right? So A has been tracking these problems, but they don't seem to be getting resolved. So the problem here is A has been tracking it, so we are not getting a hint that it is not because it's not prioritized, but they're not getting resolved for some reason. So it could be either the stakeholders are not available to make the decisions because somebody is tracking these problems and they're not getting I know. Wait a minute. Project X seems to have several issues during implementation. I think we have to add a little more detail here. Uh, we should probably include. Yeah, I think we should.
No, like
Yeah,
like
yeah, Suji.
Atma,
prioritize
there is
issues.
yeah, there is a question.
Sorry,
See,
Sujit, you can.
they don't seem to get resolved. I mean, if the stakeholder will not be present, it will not get resolved. You are tracking the result, you are tracking the issues, you are doing the thing, but how to resolve those issues? You have to sit with the stakeholder, you have to collaborate with the stakeholder.
That's what. Yeah,
That conversation is correct.
yeah. That's what I
Exactly.
also think. Like, but do we need to? I mean, add some more things. But
Because
that's what I also felt like. Yeah, somebody's tracking
yeah,
it and it doesn't seem to be getting resolved for certain reasons. So that is why you have to look at I mean, what are the factors because of which it is not getting resolved. So even I feel like answer C is the reason, but we may take a look at this once more to see if any detail needs to be added, so that you don't get you can narrow down to the answer. But I don't think it is because of lack of prioritization, because these are being tracked. Okay.
yeah. So C is more relevant
Yeah,
because we
C is
need to make a solutions
correct. C looks more
instead of
appropriate to me also.
stakeholders. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it can be technical or business people
Mm-hmm.
when you make any decision. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. Okay, so we have another question. A has to create an as a state process flow diagram based on his observations. As an observer, business analyst A can trying to elicit information by viewing and understanding activities in the context. So, as an observer, business analyst A can only execute work that a novice can perform. Okay. Yeah. So this is basically because he is carrying out an observation. He is observing the process. So when you're as an observer, you will not be able to do anything more like an experienced person will be able to do, right? Like you're new to the process and you're trying to understand what is the activity and what is the context and everything. Like you're just trying to observe what the person is doing. So when you're an observer,
Very
what
passive observation.
yeah, you may not be able to perform things that an expert can do with the system. So that's why you'll be as an observer, you'll only be able to execute work that a novice means somebody who is new to the system. So in this particular scenario, what the BA is doing is he is trying to elicit information by understanding the activities what the other person is doing. So you may not have any more extra information in that case. You will be able to do only what he has shown you or he has explained to you, or what has he carried out uh, while you were observing. So you can do only that much. That is
No,
why,
the D answer will be not right, because the D answer will not be right,
yeah,
because see,
there are two
you
types of
cannot perform,
observation.
cannot tell them the performance, improvement performance, that will be in the latter stage,
Hmm.
in the last stage. But
Yeah.
currently you have to just elicit the requirements.
Yeah, and this is like the beginning stage where you're trying to observe and understand what he's doing. So at that point in time, you are just passively looking at things and then trying, there are two types of observation, right? You're doing an active observation where you can ask questions, or you can do a passive observation where you're just, you're not asking anything, but you're just observing what he's doing. So here there is no,
Yeah.
yeah, here at this point, you are not going to suggest anything. If you have any doubts, you may ask, or you're just trying to understand the process, but you're not going to suggest, okay, you could have done it this way, because you are also new to the process. You're just trying to understand and observe things. So that is why it is not answer, it is not D, it is B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then
And one more thing to add on.
yeah.
I think in passive observation we can ask questions, but you can ask. You have to wait till end of the,
Correct.
you know,
Yes.
end of the
Yeah, active
experiment.
means as and when you're doing things, you can discuss and then clarify your points. But as a passive observer, you just reserve your questions towards the end, or you may not even ask. You just look at the way they're doing. You're not interrupting that person from the flow. You're not breaking his flow with any kind of questions. Yeah. Then there is what would be an appropriate BA approach before submitting the requirements package. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, in this particular question, somebody is adding unnecessary requirements. So see, if you look at option A, it is like an escalation from the beginning. There is this particular stakeholder who is just continuously unnecessarily adding requirements. But what you have to do as a BA is, you don't escalate, or you don't call your sponsor immediately and then call the SME also and then say, hey, you're adding too many requirements unnecessarily. You don't do that. As a BA, what you typically would do is, you try to discuss with that SME first. Just call that SME for a meeting and understand his concerns. He may have some concerns as to why he is doing this. Why was he not present during any of the review meetings, or was he not available when the requirements elicitation happened? So try to understand those concerns, or try to understand what exactly happened as to why he is adding so many requirements in the last minute. So that's why option D is the answer. And then what you can do is, you engage the SME in suggestions, and then you go ahead with the next steps, whether you have to include those requirements for implementation purpose, or you can just leave that, or do you have to present it before a change board. These kind of decisions can be made. But the first step would typically not be calling a meeting with the project sponsor. That would not be the right thing to do. Okay, when you have a better option, go for that. It's about assessing your problem solving skills. Okay, so that's why the answer is D. Yeah, then coming to this question, among the following requirements relationships, what type of relation exists between test plan and the need to assess student performance? So here it is clearly validate, because you're looking at test plan, and then you are looking at the need. If you have a need, you have a requirement, and you're trying to test that. So the relation is typically validate. Let me just show you that traceability relationship. I'll quickly show that so that you get an idea. Yeah, so this document may be useful to you. So when you're trying to derive something, like you have a stakeholder requirement and you have a business requirement. So when you're everything starts with the business requirement, right? There's a business need. Okay, then from a business need, some stakeholders will say, okay, as a sales manager, I would need these many requirements, or as a marketer, I want certain requirements, or as a course instructor, I would like to do certain things. So when a stakeholder requirement is derived from a business requirement, that is, you have a bigger goal, and from that you're narrowing down slowly. So that is stakeholder requirement. So this kind of a relation is called Derive Relation. See, you have a business requirement, you have a stakeholder requirement, you have a solution requirement. You're gradually drilling down. So that is a Derive kind of a relationship. Now you have designed something, and then you're looking at testing. So when you move from the requirements towards the testing, that is like validating. Okay, you have a requirement, then you have developed something out of it, you're looking at testing that out. So when you move this way, in this direction, it is a validate type of a relationship. Okay, so that you can see an example here. So let me just take this particular scenario. Okay, as a trial user, I want to register for the full course online upon completing the free preview. Okay, this is like a scenario where somebody does a trial registration. They can see, when you suppose before you enroll, you would have done a succeed trial registration, right? When you did a succeed trial registration, there were few documents which were available for your preview. After completing that, you wanted to upgrade yourself, or you wanted to buy the full course. So when in that particular scenario, you would have created certain, there would have been certain test cases. We would test, okay, well, is the trial user able to see a buy now button where he can immediately click on that and purchase the full course. So there are some test cases which came out of that particular requirement. So that is why the relationship is validate. When you see test cases or test plan or something like that, usually the relationship will be validate. And when you see something coming from a bigger thing to a smaller thing, like a business requirement, a stakeholder requirement coming out of a business requirement, or a solution requirement coming out of a stakeholder requirement, those kind of things are usually derived type of relationships. Now depend is within you are at the same level. You have two solution requirements. Without implementing one solution requirement, it doesn't make sense to implement the other solution requirement. So you are having some kind of a dependency over there. So basically, without having a payment gateway, what is the point in having a checkout page? So that those two requirements are dependent on each other. When you have one, you will be able to easily implement the other. So that is the depend relationship. Then satisfy is like when you have a solution component. Like in order to see videos, suppose you have a solution requirement, which is like you have to play videos when a student clicks on the suppose in Succeed or in Thinkific, when you watch the videos, there is a there is a video component which helps you play that particular video. So the relation is usually a solution a requirement and the associated solution component. So something which helps in satisfying the requirement, that is the satisfy relationship. So that was just a quick overview. You can take a detailed look at that document and see how one type of requirement, the various types of relationship which exist. Okay, so even though there will be a detailed case, you will be given a paragraph like this, always try to see what the final question is asking. Okay, sometimes they'll give a different some related things over here in the second paragraph, but the question may not be really pertaining to that. The question, you read the question independently and see what it is trying to ask. Okay, then there is this question: ensuring effective stakeholder collaboration is essential for maintaining their engagement in BA activities. Which of the following is considered when planning stakeholder collaboration? Okay, so stakeholder collaboration, I think there's a list given here which tells you what all you need to consider. Not here. Roles, attitudes, decision making authority. Which of the following is essential for maintaining the engagement? Which of the following is considered when planning stakeholder collaboration? Why is it location? And I think it should have been which of the following is not considered. I think it's a negative question. Or Let me see. 324242. Planning, collaboration, timing, location, available tools, delivery method, preferences of the stakeholders.
I think the delivery method is part of the preference.
Location and
How do you want that?
no, I see this. Some considerations. Oh, this is like a really in-depth kind of a question. I mean, you have to know the content to answer this. Some considerations when planning collaboration. You have these. Yeah, these are the 4 things that are given. I think in the explanation it's given, but following is considered. And the others, decision-making authority. No, actually, in fact, all
The
can be
roles,
considered. The
no,
role
the roles
different
cannot be see the
roles. Planning collaboration alone. Okay, so this is not planning for stakeholder engagement. You are basically looking at collaboration part alone. So at the initial phase, you may identify attitudes, roles, decision making authority, etc. But when you get into the stakeholder collaboration part of it, you will look at these aspects, timing and frequency. Like you have to find out, right, who at what time you can reach out to stakeholders, at which location, or what are the kinds of tools that are available for interacting. So these things have to be kept in mind. But if it is an engagement, like when you're planning the stakeholder engagement or uh, at that phase, you have to consider decision making authority, attitudes. Like if you are preparing a stakeholder list, you have to understand what are the roles of your stakeholders, what is their decision making authority, what are their attitudes. Then you get into the collaboration part of it, which is like how can you interact with stakeholders. That is the collaboration part of it. So yeah, these are the things
I have
which are
another
considered.
question.
Yeah,
Like, at what time during the preparation we should start referring to Babok?
Babok,
Because
just
right now what is happening is that somewhere we read, like in all the tests that are given, I haven't been able to score more than 70%. My average score is around 65 to 67%.
okay. So
So
initially,
I'm just worried about.
don't worry about that, because initially when you take the test, you're just trying to familiarize yourself with the nature of questions. So even when I was new to take sorry, even when I started taking the quiz, I was also scoring around that 60 to 70 only. But then you have to come back to those quizzes later on. Just don't leave it there. Initially, even if you score that much, just don't get disheartened. You come back to that quiz after a few days. Uh, Come back to it and try to answer those questions again and see if your marks are improving. And coming to trying to reading Babok, I would say you can do that towards the end. First of all, you try to go through the study guide that we have prepared. It's a condensed version. Okay, so go through that at least 2 to 3 times. When you go through the study guide, you will be able to familiarize yourself with the terms that are there in Babok. After that, then when you start reading Babok, it'll be easier for you to understand. It'll be easier for you to recall things. Like you would have already gone through the study guide twice, right? So after that, when you start reading Babok, it'll be easier for you. Directly, if you start reading Babok, you will not be able to progress because there's a lot of material to cover. You will think it is a never ending process. So don't do that. Just go through the study guide first. Keep your mind maps beside, when you're going through the techniques and things like that. Have the mind map with you so that you can associate and you can see, okay, under BA planning, these are the things that you have to remember. So when you have grouped things, it will be easier for you to remember. Now after you finish the study guide, then you start going through the Babok. So finish off each chapter, start doing the questions, do a reading of you would have already attended the classes, right? If you have time, do a watch the e-learning videos. Watch the e-learning videos, go through the study guide, then you start attempting the questions, practice questions. Okay, then if you are scoring low, don't worry. Come back to it, do a second round of revision. That time you can attempt these questions again and improve your score. Don't try to improve your score the next day itself, because you will remember those answers. You have just completed the test, right? So if you do it immediately, you will remember the answers. So don't do that. When you come for a second round of revision, that is when you start doing it again. If you're in areas which you are not doing well, try to understand why you have gone wrong there. Is it because you don't lack a conceptual clarity, or is it because you didn't read the question properly? Try to figure out what exactly is causing you to get that answer wrong. So when you try to figure out, try to address that root cause, then you will be able to get it right the next time. Okay, if it's a conceptual clarity that is missing, then try to read that portion of in the study guide or in the BABAC. Try to read that portion and then see, okay, then you will be able to figure out, okay, this is why I went wrong and I will correct this next time. So that's how you can study. Okay, just don't complete with one revision. At least you would need at least 2 to 3 rounds of revision, I would say. I mean, 2 rounds would be good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's it. So even this particular question, I forgot when I just refreshed the concept only. I mean, when I went back to the book, then I recalled, okay, these are the things. You sometimes you will be even tested for these kind of things. So when you read the book twice, it'll reinforce in your mind. Okay, so that's how you go about preparing. Some questions are very memory centric, you would say. You can get 1 or 2 input related questions or 1 or 2 output related questions, maybe 1 question on guideline. So it's not possible to mug up things, but when the only strategy that will help you out is reading the things twice or thrice. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. Yeah, any other questions? So yeah, so I think we are done for the day. It's about 3 yeah, we have crossed 1 hour of time. So if you still have any doubts, do do ping me, or I mean, do send out a mail to me. I'll be happy to answer that for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So was I audible during the entire period, or did I break? Did my voice break in between?
No, it was all good, Fatima. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, thanks guys. Thank you for joining. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Keep studying. All the best. Okay
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye bye.